Hi everyone, FPL Matt Day here, and here we go. Fantasy Football World Cup round of 16 is here. It's the knockout stages. I can't wait for this. Look, it's not been the best fantasy game. There's been glitches, there's been problems, but we're still playing. I'm still playing. I've still got tips for you. This is my team selection for the round of 16. Really looking forward to showing this to everyone. Just before I do, if you can please give the video a like. Hit the subscribe button on the channel if you haven't done already. Really appreciate the support, and get yourselves in the comments. If you've got any questions prior to the deadline and you're not here on the live stream, get them in. I'll be answering questions all the way up until deadline, which is kickoff of the first game of the round of 16, which is the Netherlands versus the USA. So make sure you get all of your questions in the comments, regardless if you're watching live or not right now. So this is just a quick 10-minute team selection, just so I can go through my team and show everyone the transfers I will be making. Before I do, I'll just quickly go through a couple of the extra features from this knockout stage that's within the game. So there is unlimited transfers right now. So everyone gets unlimited transfers, pretty much starting your team from scratch again. The budget has also been extended, so everyone gets extra money in the bank. So you can pretty much have a pretty stacked team, to be honest. You can get a lot of the big guns in there, as you will see with my side. And then also you can have 4 players from each side. So if there's a particular team that you think is really strong and you really want to focus on, maybe a Brazil, then you can have 4 of their players in your team. So a couple of extra features for you. I thought I'd just go through that first before I get into my team and what that looks like. So here we go. I'm going to share the screen just to go through my side, and I'll bring up my full team. And I'm going to discuss each part. So I'll start with the keepers, defenders, midfielders, strikers, and subs. So I will share that screen now, and then I'll let you know what I've picked and why. And it's probably a bit template with the forwards. I've seen it a forward front 3 that's quite template, which I've seen everyone has used, which I've gone with. But look, I'll start with the goalkeepers. I will bring up a comment as well. If anyone's live watching this live and isn't watching this on the pre-record, because this will be up, post this, I will still bring your comments up. So PSB is just into the team section stream. Good morning, mate. Hope you're doing great. I'm doing well, mate. I'm actually really excited to go out and watch the Argentina-Australia game here in Melbourne, 6 a.m. kickoff. I'm really looking forward to going out to watch that. Fantasy's been, I think I mentioned it before, it's not been the greatest format of game, but I've still enjoyed it. Still, passes the time before we get the FPL back. And yeah, in terms of what we can roll, I believe it's when you roll, you get 2 transfers back instead of the 1. But I will have to double check that rule for you, and I can come back in the comments. The only ones I've looked at is the extended budget and the unlimited transfers and the 4 players per team. But I believe you roll and you get 2 extra transfers instead of the 1 extra transfers that you normally get. So you'd get 3 instead of the 2, is what I believe, but I will go back and double check. And welcome to the stream, Matt. If you've just joined, this is going to be my team selection for the round of 16. Just a quick video, and then once this is done, there will be a preview podcast for the rest of the World Cup and the round of 16 tonight as well. So be sure to tune in, give the video a like, and subscribe if you haven't done already. But let's go through my team. In goal, as you can see, I've got Noppert still from the Netherlands against the US. I wanted to pick someone early doors. I was actually going to go Pickford against Senegal, but I didn't want to go too hard on England. I don't like triple ups in defence. I think double ups are okay at this stage because we have started to see a lot of goals. And I think the Netherlands, this could be a tight one, maybe 1-0, 2-0. So I've gone with Noppert. He's got some good scores. Netherlands haven't conceded too many goals in this comp. So he is my keeper. My second goalkeeper, I will go through my bench again later, but my second keeper is Alisson for Brazil. I wanted to have some Brazilian coverage. And it's always good to have a player that plays at the end on the last day. And Alisson has to be in there. Brazil been pretty steady at the back in this comp. As for the rest of my defense, I've got Dumfries in there. So I've got the double up with the Netherlands. He's always really good for fantasy football. Obviously attacks, can get assists, gets goals. So I think he's a pretty template choice. And then next to him, I've got Maguire again, who I did have in the last round. England did get the clean sheet. And I always like having an England defender in this, because Gareth Southgate does keep it tight at the back. His England team don't concede many goals. And Harry Maguire, he is a set piece threat. And, England have got players that can deliver set pieces, whether it's Trippier, whether it was Trent Alexander-Arnold off the bench. There is players that can deliver those corners, those set pieces. And Maguire just seems to win a lot of those at the international level. So he stays in my side. Trippier is in there as well as the double up. Expect him to come back into the team, and I think he'll be on all the set pieces as well. Again, he's pretty highly owned. I can actually even just go here and go through the selected. He's 33% owned at the moment. So, really highly owned at the moment. He plays Senegal. And then next to him there, you can see Jordi Alba. He's got a couple of assists so far in the tournament. Morocco will be a tricky game, I think, for Spain. But yeah, I like Alba. I like his attacking threat, gets forward, and even if Spain were to concede, he can still come away with points. So that's my back four. And then in midfield, I've got a couple of cheap enablers in there with Klaassen, 8.6 million. He's been pretty good so far in this tournament. Has hit points in each game. 7 points against Senegal, 4 points against Ecuador, and then there's 6 points against Qatar. So he's pretty steady in that midfield, plays against the US. And then next to him there, as you can see, I've got Fernandes from Argentina. He's got the game against Australia, which I think will have goals. As you can see with him so far, in the 2 games he's played, 7 points against Mexico, 6 points against Poland. He's only 6 million. I think he's a really good choice in that midfield if you need the funds as well. And then next to him there, plays on the last day, I've gone with Bruno Fernandes, highest point scorer midfielder so far in the game. 7 points against Ghana, 16 against Uruguay. Was because he got the pen, and Ronaldo will normally take pens, as you know. But look, he's actually looked pretty good for Portugal. So yeah, I wanted to get him in there and some Portugal coverage. So that's my midfield. And then up front, I've gone with the template. There was other players I could have gone with. So Gakpo was someone I considered. Harry Kane was someone I considered. I think he was scorer against Senegal. He's got 3 assists in this tournament already as well. So I did consider him. I did consider Gakpo instead of Richarlison. But I wanted Messi because I think he's someone you can captain. So Messi's in there. I'm backing him to score. I've said it on a few other platforms. I think he might score a free kick. I don't know why. I just get this feeling he's going to score a free kick. And then Mbappe, obviously the other premium option, 54.4% owned. You've got Messi there, 71.7% owned. So the ownership is high. Mbappe, who's in there at 54.4%. Again, he's a backup option as a captain. So if Messi doesn't deliver tonight, Mbappe can come in for the captaincy against Poland. So I've gone pretty template there. I've added Richarlison in there. It was between him and Gakpo. I do think if Netherlands get a couple of goals, Gakpo will get them. But again, with the Brazil career fixture, I thought that let's get Richarlison in there. Did score a couple of goals in that first game. So happy to have him in there. So that's my forward line, pretty template. And then my bench, obviously I mentioned Alisson in there as my second keeper. Just fancy Alisson. Obviously, strong keeper. Brazil, good defense. Don't concede many goals. The goal they did concede last night was in the 92nd minute. And then I've got Shaqiri in there from Switzerland. I think everyone needs at least 1 or 2 differentials. I've obviously got Fernandes in there, Harry Maguire, and Shaqiri as my kind of 3 differentials that are kind of 6% owned and below. I just think Shaqiri seems to turn it on for Switzerland. He just appears every 2 years when there's an international comp for Switzerland, scores great goals, gets assists. And I fancy him against Portugal. I don't think Portugal keep a clean sheet in that game. So Shaqiri is in there. And then I've got Olmo from Spain. I wanted a Spanish player. They play Morocco. Olmo just always seems to be involved in their attacks. He gets shots off. He's obviously got points in the tournament so far and has scored in the tournament. So Olmo's in there. I still wanted to keep some players towards the end of this round of 16 so I can bring them in. And then my last defender, Alex Sandro, has been really productive for Brazil in this competition so far. As you can see here, 6 points against Serbia, 6 points against Switzerland. But that doesn't tell the whole story because he did hit the post in the first game. And he's been so close to scoring again and getting assists. So he comes in there. If I do have to remove, defenders like a Dumfries, Maguire, Trippier, Sandro can come in. Alisson can come in for Noppert if Netherlands concede against the US. So I'm pretty happy with that bench. I think it's pretty strong. And obviously I've got Bruno Fernandes, Messi, Mbappe, Dumfries, Trippier, pretty much make up the template. And then I've got, Fernandez, Maguire, Shaqiri, Sandro, who, a little bit more sort of spread out with ownership. So that is my wild card, unlimited transfers, I guess, team is what you'd call it for the round of 16. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. I will bring up some questions that have come through because I am recording this live. PSB has come in and he's just asked, hey, mate, thoughts on Julian Alvarez as a differential? I like that. His goal was brilliant the other day for Argentina. I think he's a really good differential. If you can get a second Argentina attacker in against Australia, then you've got to do it. Australia, I think they're one of those sides when they play the likes of Tunisia, what we saw against Denmark. Teams that don't score huge amounts of goals. Australia can sort of keep it tight, hit them on the counter. When they play a team with that little bit more quality, they do ship goals. We saw it against France, and we could see it against Argentina. I'm predicting 3-1 for Argentina. So if you can load up on one extra Argentinian midfielder or attacker, I would do it. Alvarez, I like Fernandez, I like McAllister and Di Maria. So I think if you pair one of those up with Lionel Messi, I think that is a really good strategy. I know a lot of people are going Martinez in goal. They're looking at Romero, Otamendi in defence. I actually am not too keen on the Argentina defenders. I do think Australia will score. They've scored in every game so far, and they do find a way to grind a goal. So I'd probably be sticking on one of the midfielders and one of the forwards or two forwards. So that's how I'd play it with Argentina, mate. But best of luck with your decisions. In terms of captains, I'm going Messi. So night one, I'm going to go Messi. And then Mbappe is my fullback option. If I don't use Mbappe as a fullback option, Bruno Fernandes or Richarlison have sort of been my kind of differential sort of captain choices. I know some people probably won't use their captain on night one, would prefer to then use it on Mbappe and then give themselves another chance with Richarlison or Bruno Fernandes or Cristiano Ronaldo. I've not seen Ronaldo in too many teams, and I do think that is because he hasn't looked too sharp, has he? And I think a lot of people kind of have avoided him, but he is a knockout football specialist. We've got to remember that. But yeah, I didn't quite fancy him. As you can see with the team I just put up, it was pretty template. But there we go. If there's any more questions that come in, I will take them now in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, please give the video a like, get in the comments. I'll be commenting all the way until deadline. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Really appreciate the support. And stay tuned, hit the notification bell because I will be live again in a couple of hours' time. Myself and at D10 Football, Daniel Capellaro, who was in Qatar for the FIFA World Cup. I think he went to about 7 games. Is going to be joining me for a preview podcast of the round of 16. It's going to be really, really good. So come in and join. Quentin from the FPL Amateurs of Us will be giving his insights in the comments, and he wrote some notes as well. Won't be present on the stream, but he'll be involved as well. So it's going to be a really good stream. So come in, tune in, join in, and get your comments in. But this was my team selection for the World Cup round of 16. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments and get any of your questions in. I'll leave it there for now. Thanks for those that tuned in live and for those that tuned in the pre-record. Looking forward to seeing your thoughts on my team, and I will see everyone in the next one.